Happy championship weekend, last of the championship weekends. So, Athletics LLC, remote, as good as ever. Right. At one point we have to see if we can get all of us remote and not in the places that we usually record. I think the best we've done, or the most we've done, is only one person is home. So we'll have to see.
That's what we currently have, right?
Well, as it stands, all of us except Lamar should be in New Mexico. Like if everything stays as is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll take that knock knock for that one. Well, welcome everyone.
We can do NCAA live.
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Somebody want to fly me to Albuquerque? Sure.
Well, there you go. We'll all pitch in Southwest.
Right.
Hey, I'm not above Southwest. That's my favorite airline. So
We can
Spirit.
get direct.
Put the
Oh,
EP
no.
on Spirit.
the EP will literally never fly Spirit again.
Oh,
I wouldn't
my
fly
God.
Spirit Airlines to save someone's life.
Oh God.
Anyways, Clyde, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico again, which apparently I have to move to at some point because we're just here all the time. We're here for the Mountain West Championships, which gets started tomorrow. There is apparently crazy weather, and a whole bunch of people have had a bunch of travel issues. So I luckily got here in one piece and on time. So very grateful for that. And, we're going to rock and roll. I almost ended up on Spirit when Southwest canceled my first flight 2 days ago. I was like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing Spirit. We're just going to ride this out.
I truly wonder if there is an NCAA team who, I'm going to say regularly, more than once, has traveled on Spirit. Go ahead and let us know. I'm curious.
I can confirm, at least in 2017, 2018, Iowa used to fly on Spirit a lot because the places they were going, Spirit's flights were like way cheaper. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they still do. I don't know if that was just a one-year thing.
I mean, the flight was cheaper, but was it actually cheaper?
Again, y'all don't.
We're not going to get into the nuances of Spirit Airlines.
No, we are not. Because even I'll say this: the pricing and the nickel and diming, like as bad as those things are, those aren't even the reasons I wouldn't fly Spirit.
All right. All gas, no governor. That's hilarious. How are you tonight, sir?
I love it.
Literally love it. It's a good one.
You guys are about to enjoy your conference weekend. We just had ours. Our men finished second. Highest points we've ever scored at a conference meet on the men's side.
That's awesome.
They showed up and showed out. And I think we're very excited about what outdoor holds because there's so many more opportunities to score points. So women finished fourth. Could have had a better meet, but we got an NCAA qualifier out of it. You can't assume anything, but 6 meters 46 should get into the dance. So I'm very excited for that young lady. But yeah, you know how it is. Conference is crazy. People do off the wall stuff. I cannot wait to be a spectator because I just know from coast to coast, we're going to see some fireworks. So good luck to everybody. I can't wait.
Well said. I love it. Lamar Mustafa, I literally practiced this 2 seconds ago. Lamar Mustafa Abdul Malik Shabazz Muhammad. Jeez.
Assalamu alaikum.
I can't believe I got that out that smoothly. I'm not
Listen,
gonna lie to you.
I'm
Is this-
impressed, and
is
it
this
just
where we
continues
say-
to prove what I say all the time, that you're actually Black. I've been saying it for a long time. I'm not even the only person that has said this, so you know.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, how are you tonight, sir?
I am honestly, I'm great. I seem to have quintupled my ability to multitask over the last year. So having 17 things to do at once or in one day doesn't seem to bother me the way it used to. Today has been an action-packed, like 5-venue, 3-city kind of day, but I'm not stressed nor bothered by it. So I'm getting ready for, I guess, my NCAAs. I booked a couple $1,000s worth of travel 2 nights ago for the Cactus League spring training and the Grapefruit League spring training. So I will spend 3 whirlwind days in Florida and 4 days in Arizona, or vice versa. I can't remember which. I think it might be 4 in Florida and 3 in Arizona, but I don't know.
Sounds tough. Sounds like a good drink.
It's it's funny, like it's one of those, I'm not gonna lie, like going to spring training, there is some fun to it for sure. But it's definitely like, oh, you're gonna go to Florida, like, oh, you're gonna go to Arizona, like that. It sounds great. It's not. Because it's not like that, like I got to go to, if you know anything at all about the peninsula of Florida, I've got to go to Dunedin, Florida, and I've got to go to West Palm. So they're like 4.5 hours apart. So what I'm doing is flying into Orlando and then going this way, coming back, and then going this way and coming back. So I will spend more hours in a car probably than I will seeing my guys, but that's okay. It's what you do.
Yep. And growing off of what you do, what we do is talk about Jack is back.
Watch out.
So, okay. Let me say this, and I really mean this. We, mostly me, but we were very, very, very petty last week as it pertains to USA championships, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. I stand by everything I said.
Rightfully so.
But luckily, the very few stars that showed up
Showed the hell out.
Yes,
delivered.
he did.
And bravo and standing ovation to Miss Anna Hall.
Yep.
Okay. Miss Aaliyah Hobbs. Right? Like, it's hard to single-handedly save what otherwise was a really bad track meet.
You just gonna diss the world record holder?
Hold on.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Sorry, sir. Continue.
To get those two doing what they did, and then to have Deanna Price come through with the bomb and get the world record, right?
Literally.
Like, those 3 ladies right there were more than enough to capture attention and make that thing worth watching, because most of it wasn't. But thank you, ladies. Bravo. I couldn't, thank you.
I just want to say, like, listen, I am, anybody who watches the show knows, I guess I'm like some sort of de facto, like, oral historian. My brain seems to remember many, many, many things from track and field and life, way more than like what I did this morning. I don't know that I have ever heard of a person attempting a pentathlon 400 double.
No.
In any meet,
Mhm.
NCAAs, the American Conference meet, but nothing. I have seen a heptathlon 400 hurdles double for sure outdoors,
Somebody tried that. Yeah.
but a pentathlon 400 double in which, well, first of all, is ridiculous. Secondly, it's at altitude. Thirdly, the 400 is 2 days and they are both after the pentathlon.
Yeah.
And you destroy the American record on the front side
Mhm.
and come within 7/10 of a second of breaking the world record.
7/10 and what was it? 8 points?
Yeah, 10. Well, not 9, because
9.
it's 5,013 and she scored 5,004. Right. It just, I mean, look, obviously, everybody who watches the show knows like how I feel about Anna Hall and who she is and all those other things. And I don't even have to worry about later on people saying that I was right. Like it is what it is, right? But it's very rare that somebody is far better than I even think they are. And I mean, I'm not going to stand, but trust me, this is a standing ovation because I think it's amazing she tried the double. The fact that she took what quarter miler showed up to the woodshed and ran 51 dead is insane.
Well, see, that's it for me, right? Like, you could look at it and be like, yeah, but the field was trash. No. Her time was awesome.
Right, she ran 51.0.
The field. The fact that she won it in 51 flat is nuts. She could have won it much slower.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She just blew it out.
You know
Yeah,
what my favorite part about it? Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is that what I loved about it is she actually ran it like a 400-meter runner. She ran it aggressively, she ran it tactfully, and she ran it as if there was, not that she didn't, but with intention, right? She didn't kind of lull it and then sprint to the end. Like she ran it with tact, and it just multitudes of why she's an athlete and not just a multi-athlete, like she ran it with knowledge.
I think what we're witnessing with this young lady is someone that at the highest level can sit there and say, huh, this has never been done. I'll try it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the heptathlon 4 hurdles double?
Yeah.
Are you
Right.
kidding me?
Right. And that's definitely been done at a conference meet, not at the national meet. And look, let's be clear. She's going to do this at the championships.
I mean, look.
And my favorite part about all of it, right, was like, if you just, y'all know I'm into and look for subtle flexes. If you were paying attention, she gave you 2.
Mm-hmm.
One was when she said, you can tell by my 400 that my 200 is going to be pretty good outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what she's telling y'all is like, this 400 thing was training.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Sure, I raced because it was a race, but I had to work out to do.
Yeah.
Right. That was 1. And 2, and this was the part I loved the most. She said Jackie was able to compete with all of the professionals in other single events.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to be able to do that too. And I was like, see, y'all ain't paying attention. Y'all need to pay attention to this girl, because she's telling y'all, I did not come to participate.
Yep.
I came to dominate.
So obviously she has been given the memo
Yeah.
on how to maximize your marketability as a multi-athlete in today's world. We talk about, even from recruiting at a collegiate level, we're looking for multis that can help us in individual events when needed, right?
Mhm.
As a professional, you cannot just depend on being a multi, not in this current landscape that we're in. And if you're able to line up with the best in the world in an individual event, high jump, long jump, whatever it is, you are now adding much value, because now you're dabbling in their money, right? And absolutely, I mean, loved every minute of her performance. Can we talk about Femke Bol real quick?
Well, wait, because we're all gonna go crazy on that. Like, how about this completely undercover 2-meter high jump by Vashti Cunningham? Like, I'm being serious. I bet you there aren't 200 people that know that she jumped 2 meters and took 2 good attempts at 203.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've given Vashti her flowers because I just want, like, look, first of all, I'm not getting cussed out again because we already know somebody was coming for my neck.
Yeah.
But secondly, again, it doesn't matter how soft the meat is. The athletes are going to show up, and like there might only have been 5 superstar women there. All 5 of them showed out.
Yeah.
Leah Hobbs, 694. I mean,
Listen.
yeah.
Raise your hand if you didn't think Gail's American record was ever going down.
I mean, come on. That is amazing.
Got Gail Devers, man. And I'll say that, like, if you're a fan of Hobbs, which I am, and you've watched her over the past couple years, it's easy to say she ran 94. Oh, it looks different. No, it really does look different.
It looks way different.
She is changed, tweaked,
Yep.
running. She's doing things differently now.
Yep.
And
Yep.
this version, she's always been a finisher.
Yes.
But let's be clear about that. She's been a finisher. The second half has never been the issue. She looks dangerous.
She looks like she's setting it up for the second half.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is super scary.
Yes.
Super, super scary. So
That is a hole that needs to be filled.
yes.
Looks like she's ready to go do that.
Yep.
I just love the fact that these young ladies and their coaches are going after people that everybody else would try to not talk about,
Mhm.
right? Like, it's clear. For those of you who aren't paying attention, I'm going to cut to the chase for you. Anna Hall is going after Jackie Joyner-Kersey's world record in the heptathlon. And understand this, there's not been another soul on this planet that's ever done that.
Considered it.
I was
Nope.
gonna say, not even in the
Like,
conversation.
Exactly. Like, meaning everybody else has gone after the unthinkable, which is 7,000 points.
Mhm.
Jackie's 300 points over that,
Yeah.
right? So nobody even, it is very clear
People have
that Anna
celebrated.
Hall is on a mission for that.
Yes. People are celebrating. I've topped 7,000.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because there aren't even 4 people that have done that.
Yeah. And no, that's not enough.
You know,
So-
and Aaliyah talked about the record. She said, I knew to get the record, I had to have a better start than I had in the prelim, which tells you
Mhm.
she wasn't surprised by that.
Mhm.
They've been talking about that. That was a plan.
Yeah.
And I'm appreciative of that, because I feel like sometimes, look, it's like Flojo's 1049. You know when it's going to get broken? When somebody decides it's breakable.
Absolutely.
Like, that's when it's going to get broken.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. We all know that if you can run 1054, you can run 1049.
I mean,
Right? Elaine ran 1054.
She did.
Right?
Mhm.
So if you can run 1054, then you can run 1049. And here's the thing. If you can beat Elaine, then you will never believe that you can't beat Elaine, right?
right.
So my point is, there's at least 2 or 3 people that should be thinking about going after the world record, but they're not, and their coaches aren't, because it's up here.
All right. So let's call it what it is. So we operate in a sport that is, like, at the heart of it, we're all gentlemen and we're all ladies, right? We conduct ourselves with professionalism. We project that we are all professionals about what we do. What are we witnessing right now with Noah Lyles and the way that he's acting and what he's actually done, right? Because in that same vein, who is thinking about running 1919 right now?
Yeah.
Like,
probably two people.
hate the man for the way he acts and the way he carries himself and what he does, and he shows up and I am the show, right? But look, let's be clear. He's already broken the American record. Okay. So he is walking the walk. Hate him or love it. Like, and this is the thing, like, we all know, we've all been in that realm. You have to think about doing the absurd.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw.
Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Agreed. And I saw like a little bit of, I don't even know what you want to call it. Stupidity is my word. Of people that was like, Noah pulled out of the 60. Why ain't nobody care about the 60? Noah's not worried about the 60.
No.
I don't listen. If he even thought his leg was bothering him, you pull out of the 60.
That's right.
I'm sorry, $6,000 check ain't working.
I mean,
Got news for you. Noah don't need the 6K.
No.
Okay, he
No.
out there working on things like everybody else. No,
Right.
of course you sit down
Yes.
and let the
Mhm.
collegiate E2 guy win it. Like whatever. Like it's fine.
I mean, in that same token, we've just gotten the news that Duplantis has pulled out of the Europeans. I mean, what is
Oh, I
it
didn't know.
at this stage? What does he get out of it?
Oh, Mondo don't owe y'all nothing. I'm tell y'all like that. I'm tell y'all
Mhm.
like that.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to be
Go
funny.
up.
If I'm Mondo, I probably wouldn't compete at European championships unless they paid me.
Mhm.
Hey, he could get it done.
Because I'm not like, listen, how many people are there really and truly in the sport who like say, okay, well, I bring the show.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if you're one of those 2 or 3 people, like how long do you get to capitalize on that? Like very short amount of time, right? If I'm him, I would compete for free almost never.
Hey, and I'm not saying that I know this. I just want it to be the case. So until someone confirms to me that it's different, that's going to be what it is in my brain. I considered it poetically, perfectly petty that Ryan Krauser did not go to USA
Okay.
and went to Pocatello, Idaho
Okay.
to throw whatever the hell he threw for the world record. That
23-38.
yeah.
All right.
that-
So real quick, let's jump into that and then move on. But like, I said this to Chu when it happened. I said, listen, if you ever want to know how little US indoor championships mean to someone, just understand that Ryan Krauser flew to Pocatello, Idaho to compete in a meet for free on the same weekend as US indoor championships and broke the world record and pushed the indoor world record to 1 centimeter further than his outdoor world record.
Yep.
So he's in shape.
Yep.
And
Static.
he's like,
no less.
I am not going to Albuquerque and win this $6,000 to throw over in the corner. And you know what? I'm gonna let my guy Joe get his first national championship because I know he probably gets a bonus and he just having twins. And listen, I wouldn't even be surprised if that conversation happened.
Wow.
I mean, that would be sweet. I don't want it to be sweet. I just want it to be petty.
You know, it could very easily be like, damn, all that. Like, I'm gonna go hunting after
Yeah.
the meet. And
Yeah.
I like, and the boar hunting is better in Pocatello. I mean, I'm making that up too, but I'm saying like it's Ryan. It could, I would say, I bet my answer is closer to the truth. He had something else he wanted to do in Idaho, like go to Sun Valley and ski.
Well, that's where he used to compete in high school.
I know.
And so like, that's sweet, right?
Because he
Ryan
broke the
Krauser
national
on
high school
skis.
record there by a
Ryan Krauser on
gajillion feet.
skis, I cannot see, but he probably does.
Which brings me to a point that I mean, why are we still running on boards in 2023?
For the nostalgia. That's why. For the nostalgia.
Yeah, I don't know why they've never put rubber on that track in
Come
St. Cloud.
on.
I have no idea. What's even crazier is that a high school kid ran 45 seconds on that track.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know that's the answer. Nostalgia.
No, it is nostalgia for sure. It's the same reason why because it's not even just boards. It's painted slick orange and black boards.
Oh,
Orange
man.
and black. You know what's good about orange and black? Similar color scheme to Femke Bowles' uniform that she
Mhm.
thrashed the world record in.
Man.
Yeah, so just I don't know how long we're sticking with this, but to Femke Bowl.
We just want your petty because I know where you want to say, and I need you to say
Oh,
it
of course.
because it's going to be better coming from you than me.
To
Femke Bowl, the rest of the world needs to know Femke Bowl broke the world record.
Let him say it.
indoors. No, I'm saying that's it.
No.
That's what you need to know.
No, thank you, Femke Bowl, for taking one of the dirtiest records
Yes.
from one of the all-time dirtiest people
Yes.
off the books. And every time one of these dirty records comes off the books, I don't drink, I don't smoke, but in my brain, I got a cigar and some shots. Like, I'm here for it. And all of the world, all of the fans of this sport of the world should celebrate that stuff
Mhm.
every time it happens.
Yes.
The Eastern Bloc records and some others, it's not just them. Like, we know what they are. Get them up out of here. So
And to
thank
all
you.
the new track fans, if you don't understand what Clyde is talking about, go find a picture of the former world record holder and just sit there and look at that
Just
picture.
Google it.
Yeah. It's tough to look at, not gonna lie. I will also say, this is like a petty palooza for Clyde, because he broke this news a year ago, and unfortunately our show is nuanced, right? We tell people a lot of things that they are not ready to understand, and a year later it gets brought to them like with a sledgehammer to the face. Okay, everybody understands world record is best thing ever done, right? Right. Okay. Well, because of World Athletics' wonderful ranking weighting,
Oh, Jesus.
Femke Bowles' indoor world record is worth fewer World Athletics ranking points than her 50.5.
Yes, outdoors.
No, from indoor worlds
indoors.
last year.
Right.
Because it happened at World Championships.
Yes.
Now, I just need everybody to rewind and play that again and hear that out loud. An inferior performance is worth more world ranking, i.e. money points, than the world record. Now, if that don't tell you how broken World Athletics and their stupid rankings are, nothing can slam it home any more than that.
Yes.
Yeah, I put that up on Facebook, and my guy Tim O'Neill jumped in there to add into that, and I didn't even know this one, so I found it amazing that Freddie Christensen, who won USA's, ran slower and, if I remember, lost in Boston.
Mhm.
That performance is worth more on the rankings than the USA Indoor Championships.
Mhm.
Yikes.
It's literally insane. It makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, we understand why they're doing it, but it's just so bad. It's so fraudulent. But yes. So
it's nuts. Like because the right way to do it is they don't even have to invent wheels, right? Like, do it like golf or like tennis. They both have majors, right? They're worth the most.
And no one's debating that the Olympics and the World Championships shouldn't be worth more. No one's saying that.
Yes, the Olympics and World Championships. Stop right there. But nothing should ever be worth more than a world record. Nothing.
I mean, can we get some world record bonus points? Can we get that?
I mean, right. There's an idea.
No, we can't have that.
Some chocolate syrup for your ice cream. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
So there you go, folks. Track is back.
Track is back. All right. So talking about some more great things and greatest evers and whatnot. We're gonna flip it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because it was basically an off weekend, quote unquote, not for everybody, but championship weekend. It's the early championship weekend. Super short, super simple, but I have to get this off on track is back. Richie Bean.
Yes.
Richie Bean, Alabama State, swept the SWAC championships, men and women, back to his winning ways. And if you know anything about the history of that program, you know that Richie Bean been doing this for 20 years, been winning championships. Okay. As I understand, I don't know the exact number, but I think it's 29. It might be 30 plus now. Conference titles. He has more conference titles than anyone in Division I right now.
Wow.
He should already be in the Hall of Fame. We need to get him into the Hall of Fame. And for me, having helped him do a bunch of sweeps in the time that I was there, and then watching things fall to pieces for a little while, to see him rebound and get this done, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Shout out to the whole staff, to Snap, to Maury. Could not be prouder of them. And that was great to watch. Great to watch.
F, Taxes, and Richie Bean.
Indeed. Sorry, Chip.
No, so I'm going to say this because I keep saying this for everyone, and I know you do. I'm not talking to you. For everyone who seconds that notion and who keeps complaining that he's not in the Hall of Fame, you all need to respond and vote for that to happen and nominate when the alphabet sends out that email. Don't just delete that one. When they take the Hall of Fame nominations, you need to make that a thing. You can't just complain about him not getting nominated when you don't nominate him. So hear me once, hear me twice, hear me 1,000 times over. Don't disregard that media notification from USTFCCCA.
That's right.
Done. Off my soapbox. So we were talking about the best and the greatest and the track is back segment. But now we're going to talk about the greatest and those who have never actually won the medal.
An
So-
Olympic medal or a world?
Global, so Olympic or world.
Ooh.
Just making things more difficult as you go.
Right. The
Which
best
is
two.
why we're going to default to the governor.
See, it's tough, right? Because there's a lot of people who have won world championship medals who never won an Olympic medal.
Mhm.
There's actually a lot of those. There are a fair number of people who have won Olympic medals and not won world championship medals.
Yep.
And there's quite a few people who have world records who didn't win gold medals. But I felt like I needed to challenge us all to come up with who has been dealt the worst glass ceiling ever. Because we know whoever these people are have been in the finals.
So let me be clear, and I hope I didn't blow the assignment here, because one, this was a very frustrating question. Very frustrating. And I better be allowed to say that we're talking about individuals.
Yeah.
Individual men.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna give my answer. I don't know if it's the best answer, but I feel like it's a damn good one. And I pulled my hair out trying to put this together. But the question is, the best athlete to never get the individual medal.
Correct.
It's Mona Lee.
Ooh.
Mm.
Okay.
Good one.
Mona Lee. And Mona Lee is a friend of mine. And I know how bad that fourth hurt. And I say this with all due respect, with no petty intention at all. I think Mona is an incredibly gifted athlete, and she was a hell of a pro and never really gets the respect that her talent deserves because she doesn't have that individual medal. But I mean, and you talking about how close,
Yeah.
I believe it was 0.01, right? Like, yeah, for me, it's Moon Ali. I'm sure there's a better answer somewhere in the annals of history, and that's what I'm waiting on y'all to give me. But it's, for me, I'm going Moon Ali.
I like it. The governor, what you got, sir?
I can't wait for it.
Oh man. I have a really hard time. I have a really hard time with this question. So you're gonna have to go, Lamar. Because you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go.
Oh man.
Because my research continues.
Well, see, that's the I feel like we could almost like give a different answer every week, because the longer you look,
Yep.
right? Oh,
You're talking about
there's
any medal, right?
that, right. Any non, so like you could, so like my initial answer, like off the top of my head, right? No research, was John Drummond.
Wow. Wow.
Because like to me,
Oh, good answer.
definition of glass ceiling, because he literally trained with Otto and Maurice.
Mm-hmm.
He literally won gold medals and silver medals on relays.
Yeah.
You know, my other like immediate thought was Mark Everett, American record holder at one point. Hell, he was my roommate in Sydney, and I was like literally in my head, I was like, finally, my guy is gonna get in the final, and there ain't no way he's gonna get in the final. He's not gonna win a medal. And then he didn't get out of the first round, and I couldn't believe it.
Okay, I got one. And he's a contemporary. And some might say I'm actually at fault, but
Some might say.
Roland McGee.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
8 meters 51. 8 meters 51. And I mean, I'm in that same boat. We just came around at the wrong time.
Oh, I mean, think about this. Joe Green has one.
Yeah.
Joe Green has one global medal.
Yep.
And that dude jumped 850 in college.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's you go through that period of time and you start looking at those events. I mean, I had to go search up Eric Walder. He's got one.
Mm-hmm.
This is a collegiate record holder. This is 870 plus. Like, are you kidding me? Like, so, yeah.
Well, let me ask this question, because literally this name popped in my head and I don't know the answer. So I mean, the governor will be able to fact check this for me faster than I will, because I'm slow on the Google. But does Dennis Mitchell have an individual record, an individual medal?
Hold on.
He won USA's in '96.
Hold on. Yes. He has
95
a medal in Barcelona in 92.
92. Okay. So I think Dennis has one.
No. He's got a bronze in 92, a bronze in Tokyo in 91 Worlds, and a bronze in Stuttgart in 93.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yep.
But that was a good guess, though. Like, I get that.
Yeah. And that's why like I said, my first thought was JD, because I was pretty sure that he doesn't have one. And like literally, I feel like he's the definition of like being locked in a candy store but being allergic to sugar. Like that man, because he knew, like here's the thing. We all that have trained at a high level, you know what it looks like, right? You know what, like in your picture, in your mind, you know where you're trying to get to. So imagine training with it every day. Like you don't have to imagine what it looks like. the world record holder is in the lane next to you every day.
Oh, and don't get it twisted. I mean, you know this. JD had it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There wasn't any final he was in where he and John and the crew didn't think he was coming out of there with a medal.
I mean, I think we would
I got one for you.
What you got?
Olapade Adenican.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
995 in that era.
And 1970 something.
Yeah. Let me find it. I mean, this guy.
I think Ola's PB is 1960 something windy, but I don't know what his legal PB is.
So his legal PB is actually 20 flat.
See,
But he
That's what
ran
happens.
992 with a 2.8, 995 with a 1.9. Never won an individual medal. Won relay medal, but not individual. I'm sure this could open up a whole can of worms, and there are a whole bunch of folks.
listen, I am now saying that big leagues DMs are open. Please feel free to shoot answers. Shoot answers for the show.
Right. I would love to hear some more answers from the audience.
Because I just like, I think this is probably one of the best topics we've ever come up with.
But since we're throwing stats, I'm gonna go back to my girl and throw some of these. Okay. First of all, 7-time NCAA champion was Muna Lee. 7 times. 12-time SEC champion, 20-time All-American. Okay. PBs. 1085, wind dated 1078, 2201 in the deuce, in the Olympic final for 4th place. That's rough. Like, Muna was a star. And all of her sprint marks at the time, you would think, in that era, would come out with a medal somehow. Like,
yeah, like our sport is so brutal because, like, let's go the other way. Michael Bates has an Olympic medal.
Yeah.
From lane 1 in the 200 and then went on to go play football.
So Clyde, what you just did is that you just really opened up Pandora's box, because there's a young lady from Muna Lee's alma mater that we're all missing. The former NCAA record holder.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That called timeout on her career.
Absolutely.
I mean, Dawn Sowell.
Dawn Sowell, absolutely. Hell, that might be the answer.
That might be the answer. Because 1078 in that time period?
Absolutely.
Oh, my
1078 and what, 22-1?
Unreal. 2204.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
What's crazy is that was my freshman year in college. So that was my first NCAA meet. So I was like, dang.
That.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In person.
Oh,
That was the meet that Dennis Fall started in the 100 and then won the 200
in
his still lifetime PB of 2001.
How
wow.
old he is.
Oh, yeah. I'm okay with being old when it comes to historical facts because I get to say I've seen a whole lot of stuff. Like I said, I think Don Babbitt is the only person I know of that has in person seen more world records than me. Now, there might be other people out there, but I've seen a lot.
What's next, Chu? Because this was difficult.
Yes.
But I like this one, and I'll be willing to bet you that everybody on this show is gonna, when we get off the show, is gonna be like, what about this one?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. No,
So, and instead of hitting my DMs, please comment in this section below so that everyone can see them and I don't have to relay the message. That would be amazing. Thanks. Jeez. I mean, there will still be some for conversation, but come on. So speaking of more bests and best bests, best rivalries in track and field history.
Now see you threw the history on there. Go ahead. Chew, you had one job.
No, but history's current. Current,
What?
like as of yesterday is history. That's why I left it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday
yeah.
is history.
We'll just back it on up. What
So
she was
literally-
trying to
Okay,
say is,
best rivalries in track and field.
there you go.
I left it because yesterday was history. Your poop from yesterday isn't current
Oh
poop.
my gosh, we're talking about yesterday's poop. All right.
Now, EP, the governor put his hand up. So should we
Yes.
just let him go first, or
No,
should I,
you go
100%.
ahead, Clyde.
should I throw my petty
You go
mouth?
ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, because I think he's going to give us a legitimate answer, and I actually want to hear it. So, listen, like any sport, I love rivalries, and I actually have some answers that I'll circle back around for. But I just want to say this because rivalries have been a hot topic of conversation in the current sphere of chats and Twitters and
Yeah, very much comparison going on.
right. Like,
Yes.
I'm starting to believe that in 2023, people, the internet's just made everybody stupid. Because
Yes.
here's the thing. The word rivalry, at least as I have understood it, dictates that there has to be a back and forth.
Yes.
Correct.
There has to be like, I get you and you get me, and we don't really know what's going to happen the next time kind of thing, right? That's a rivalry. Okay, so Sydney doesn't have any rivalries. That's dead. A thing Mo doesn't have any rivalries. That's dead. Now,
At least Sid had a rival. At least there was one.
and she decapitated it. It's a wrap. Okay.
Yeah.
So listen, I am a huge fan of Femke Bowl. And I am a huge fan of, I always say her name wrong, Keely from Great Britain, runs the 800, Hodgkinson.
Oh, you're talking about the one they put on the internet. Oh, I crushed that one.
Like, look, there's no rivalry because they haven't beat these people in anything that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime it matters. So pause with the rival talk as it pertains to those two people until they get beat.
Yep.
As good as Femke is,
Yeah.
there's barriers in the way. And last I checked, she wasn't in the frame when Sid broke the record.
Mm-mm.
Like, so yeah, let's get to the rivalries.
It's almost
Those two women
instantaneous.
don't have it. They just don't.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So I will be happy to talk to today's athletes about this rivalry that I bore witness to, that Lamar bore witness to, and what it created. Okay? How many rivalries out there in track and field create one of the longest standing world records in history? It's still there. And to me, the greatest rivalry that I ever witnessed, and it's still there, out there, is a long jump rivalry between Carl Lewis and Mike Powell. Now, in the definition of rivalry, it was not a rivalry until
Hey, there was one back and
1991.
forth.
Hey, but it's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Because there is no rivalry between Carl and Larry.
no. And we would probably be having this conversation about Larry and Carl had Larry had that moment,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you had Larry, if you look at his record, it's far more consistent. This man was an 850 machine, but he just wasn't beating Carl. It just wasn't happening. So here you have Mike Powell, and they're all, looking at the Golden Boy. And I remember having conversations with Mike about how much he hated the fact that Carl Lewis would show up on a random meet or show up maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and track and field news would make him #1 in the world. When everyone else was jumping 20 to 30 times, killing themselves, traveling around the world, Carl showing up on a helicopter, dropping down on the track, hey, I'm here. I mean, that was
That happened.
where this man was so hated by his rivals. And, to be there in Tokyo and to watch that competition, I mean, I don't even know if a 30 for 30 could do it justice, because you have to go back and you have to understand the pain and the vitriol and the hate. Like, this was personal. And I think if you were to sit down and talk to Mike, he would honestly tell you that he had a moment of insanity, a moment of just, I don't care if I kill myself. I am running down this runway as fast as I can. I'm putting my foot down and I'm gone. And I would love, and I've actually talked to Otto about this, like, how could we encapsulate and bring, especially for the love of the event, how is it that we could bring that back to the masses to get them to understand jumpers, throwers, pole vaulters, field eventers in general, we need each other. As much as you love to hate, I mean, I will tell you right now, I mean, there were days in Zurich or wherever it was, I walk into the cafeteria and I see Pedrosa in the corner of the room, and the hair on the back of my neck is standing up. And every fabric in my being is just like, heart rate goes up. Like, that is the essence of a rivalry. That is the essence of competition. When someone does that to you, you haven't even acknowledged them in the room, but they're in the room. That is what Carl and Mike embodied.
Well, my favorite part about that is that one of my favorite movies from the 80s is a movie called Vision Quest. And it was, you should watch it. It's an incredible movie about like exactly what the governor is talking about. Going on an impossible mission, listening to people closest to you tell you, why are you doing this? It's never going to happen. And then showing up, showing out, and making it happen on the day. Randy figured out what it was going to take to beat Carl.
Mm-hmm.
And then Randy devised the plan and gave it to Mike. It included claw drills on a Kaiser machine to failure. For those of you who've ever done claw drills and know what they do to your hip flexors, imagine doing that on a Kaiser machine where you can increase or decrease the amount of resistance to failure.
Yeah.
Right. And if you go back and watch the meet, Mike had on them little bitty shorts. This is what his hip flexors look like.
Yep.
Right. Because it was required of him in order to not amortize on the board, because he wasn't as fast as Mike. As Carl. So he had to use more. He had to use a greater percentage of his horizontal velocity in order to achieve the same takeoff speeds. And yes, I just nerded out, but y'all need to understand what was really going on.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
It is a great one. Can I throw a historical, legitimate one? See, here's the thing. And I didn't mean to say that one isn't legitimate. I meant that
Yeah.
Here's the thing about rivalries. See, rivalry talk, it doesn't matter why there are rivals. It doesn't even matter if, shenanigans are going on. Carl and Ben Johnson.
Oh my God.
Was an epic rivalry.
Oh
Epic.
My gosh.
No one cares. And
there
doesn't
is
matter.
30 for 30.
Doesn't matter that, right. It doesn't matter that Ben Johnson was juiced to the gills. Damn it, that was a rivalry.
Yes.
It's part of what made it the rivalry, right? Like there's no more dramatic rivalry in history than that one.
And there couldn't be two more different prognosticators than those two.
Right.
Even in the way they ran their races and everything, it was fire and ice, man. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my all-time favorite track rivalry that should have been but never was.
Oh, okay.
Like the ultimate disappointment of a rivalry. We should have got 10 more episodes of this. Maurice Green and Michael Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
How many? Well,
I
were you
wanted
in the
that
stands, Lamar, in Sacramento?
Absolutely.
I was there.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Was
One of
there
the
a
most
more,
disappointing things I've ever been a part of.
was there a more hyped up 200 than that one? Oh my goodness.
Like it's the worst ending ever.
Yeah, it was one of the worst endings ever.
Yeah.
Before I give my answer, I do want to say this: like, sometimes you just get lucky, right? Between the four of us, we've probably watched, I don't know, 5,000 track meets. Name me another meet besides that World Championships long jump competition where they showed 12 jumps on television live.
That's true.
Well,
They showed all 6 jumps of both competitors.
Yep.
And to that point, I know I don't know, and I'm not sure the governor knows who got third. Because there's a bronze medal in that meet. I have no idea who got it. I got no
I
idea.
have a question. I have a question for my panelists on this particular issue. In modern times, obviously, statistically, and from a medal count perspective, you could easily say that Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and Elaine Thompson is a great rivalry.
oh yes.
Oh, it's one of the
Larry
greatest.
Myrick's got third, Lamar.
But here's my
There you
question
go.
though. But here's my question though. Like, why do when I hear those two names and GOAT and GOAT 1A, if depending on how you look at it, why do I feel like it's not really a rivalry? Why do I feel like they've more taken turns than been at their best together racing it out?
You know why? It's real simple. Because they're not American and there hasn't been a deep dive into who they really are. Because here's the thing.
That's
I
fair.
don't think that they hate each other, but I can tell you they don't really like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right?
that comes through.
Right. And if they were American, they'd be pit against each other on television.
Yes.
The backstory would be right. Does that make sense? Like it would be a rivalry, but what ends up happening is they get lumped together as the Jamaicans
Well,
against the Americans.
as you say that, think about the Safa Powell era and the Bolt era. Do you notice they kept those two separate?
Well,
Yeah.
that was also not a rivalry.
Huh?
That was also not a rivalry.
You do have to show up for the final and win something.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna give my answer. I think it might be the best. But we're getting far enough away from it that I think the youngsters never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn Ashford versus the entire Eastern Bloc.
German block.
That's right.
You've given that answer before.
But
No,
but for real, from a rivalry perspective, like listen, you guys have all heard both me and Sir Lucius, we talk about Evelyn as if she's Superwoman, but that's why she had one job. Go beat them dirty Europeans, right? The Eastern Bloc, we all knew the Eastern Bloc was on drugs, right? And understand, I have to say the Eastern Bloc because that's like at the time Czechoslovakia, right? Which doesn't exist anymore.
Poland,
East Germany, Poland, Russia, and I'm sorry, USSR, because USSR was about 50 countries that we currently compete against, right?
Right.
It was her versus them. We ran a 4x1, right? The whole job was to get the stick to Evelyn.
Yes.
Because she would beat them damn dirty Europeans.
Still one of the greatest anchor legs I've ever seen. Still,
Listen.
And you know what's crazy about that race that somehow gets lost on everybody? Flojo was on the track.
yep,
100%.
We were
Yep.
losing,
yes.
losing.
Heike
what-
Dressler
Yeah.
ate her
Oh,
lunch.
Ate her lunch for sure. And you know what's crazy is what we all had stolen from us, right? Evelyn was the beginning of being the monster in 76,
Mhm.
right? We boycott 80, they boycott 84,
84. Yep.
right? Which
8
is why, again, children, you need to watch this show and listen to us when we tell you, forget that people are on drugs and then go watch from beginning to end the 1983 World Championships, the first one.
Mhm.
World Championships #1. It may be the best track meet that's ever happened. And the reason it was so good is because it was the first time that the Americans and the Brits, right, the good guys, were actually on the track
Yes.
with the Eastern Bloc since 76.
6 years.
Yep. So
7 years. 7
so
years.
7 years removed
Yep.
from when these people got to race each other. And there were world records broken in there.
Yep.
So my answer is Evelyn versus the Eastern Bloc, because I was 6 when she in 76. And she was the first superstar female athlete I ever seen.
So here's one of my favorite modern rivalries, and there have been results to give it the title of rivalries.
Mhm.
Actually, I have probably the most respect for this one because of one of the protagonists is just who he is. Krauser and Kovacs is a real rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say that.
And when you consider what Krauser is and what he's done, the
Yep.
fact that Joe can stand in there and beat this dude
Yeah.
on the biggest stages every now and again is incredible. Like, I have so much respect for that rivalry and for Joe Kovacs because he's made it interesting to watch.
I mean, there's no question. Like my favorite, and I think what will end up being an epic historical rivalry when it's all said and done is Noah and Ariane Knighton.
Mm.
Well, that's a budding rivalry.
Right.
It's coming.
We've only seen round 1 and 2.
Right. It's coming.
We've seen the battling shushes.
Right.
But I think that what we're going to see over the next 3 for sure, hopefully 5, 6, and 7 years. Woo.
Mhm.
I'm going to say this. I think in our lifetime, one or both of them is going to run under the world record in the 200.
Oof. Okay.
I understand.
And if I was going to be a betting man, I would actually bet that they both will, because they have each other.
They're close enough in age for it to really matter, right? And
to have some time.
Like that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that honestly is kind of a little bit disappointing. Like Delilah came into her own later than,
Right.
from a fan's perspective, you would want, because don't get it twisted. Delilah was the undisputed GOAT.
Yes.
Yep.
Until Sid figured it out. And now it's an afterthought, right?
Sid was old enough.
But I mean, that's the thing. Like, Delilah was closer to 30 and Sid was a child, right? If, Ariane and Noah are not that far apart in age. So you could get 2 cycles where they're both still really, really good. You know what I mean?
Yep. So how would you say, Lamar, Heike and Jackie?
See, that's another one. Like, it was an incredible rivalry. It didn't have enough rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, if you're a jumper and you don't know it, you've again, you need to go back and watch some film because I mean, I don't know how many times there have been two females that jumped over 24 feet
24 feet.
in the same meet.
Yes.
And that happened more than once.
Yep.
So let's see if we can get this off succinctly. The future rivalry that you're looking forward to,
Ooh,
I think he just gave his, Lamar just gave his, Ariana and Noah, which
Yes.
qualify. So Choose got to give us one. I got one, and All Gas No Governor's got to give us one.
So I'll tell you mine. And I think it literally comes down to Rai Benjamin. If Rai Benjamin can, I feel for this young man. I really do. If he can unlock that because it's amazing how everybody at that track that knows track and field knows that Rai Benjamin is more talented. He is more talented, without a doubt. He makes it look effortless. Like,
well, let me ask you this question. If you're looking at, if you're recruiting two kids, right? One's more talented and one's definitively tougher. Which one would you bet on?
Now, see, no, no.
See, you're thinking that I'm disrespecting Ryan. I'm not.
That is the
I'm not.
only way.
Wait, look, no, it's not disrespect. Listen. Let me explain so nobody's trying to at me talking about. Listen, I love Rai Benjamin, and I don't think that he's not tough.
oh man.
But people need to understand.
That will be taken.
I understand. So listen to me so I can clear this up. People forget that Carson Warholm used to be a decathlete.
Decathlete, yes.
Sure.
People forget or don't know that Carson Warholm competed the decathlon 400 double at a European junior meet. At the European junior. He's tough at a level of psychosis.
Yes.
That's my point. It's not about Rai not being tough. At some point in time, listen, there's tough to a point of crazy, and there's no question in my mind that Warholm is there.
That is much better stated the second.
Yes.
Okay, and look, that's fair, and that's part of the reason when we do this stuff in the show, right? It's like I got to put my foot in my mouth and then figure out how to take it out. But I'm just saying this: if you've seen the movie, Carson Warholm is crazy enough to bite his own hand.
That is fine, and
I am waiting for the day.
Yeah, listen. You know that was mine. So since the governor got that one off, I'm just going and Lamar did what he did there. I'm gonna skip past that one and just say yes. and so I'm gonna give you the other one, which the clock officially started ticking on this week.
Okay.
I am here for the Michael Norman, Fred Curley 100-meter rivalry.
Wow.
I'm here for that.
Okay.
Because listen, whether this is part of the calculus or not, it's just too many things that have fell into this, right? Because Fred and Mike were supposed to be the future of America's 400-meter.
Yes.
And I really wish they would go back to that.
Well, hey, the money ain't there, and apparently the desire ain't neither. So Fred dips out on it early, right, without a gold medal, but finds one in the 100.
Yes.
Mike fumbles first year out, finds himself back to it, gets his medal, and is like, you know what? I'm coming for it.
Yep.
You can't be the reigning defending 400-meter champion and step out of that event and announce it that you're going. And of course, there's the nuance of Fred just walked away from Nike.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, there's so many elements to this. So I am here for the budding Michael Norman, Fred Curley 100-meter rivalry. I'm here for it. And that is in no way a disrespect or a shot at Coleman or Bracy, who at this point have, Trayvon, at this point, who have earned their due respect in that event. They got the medals behind their names, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got them.
Yep.
But if you're talking about star power, that's the rivalry I'm here for.
Mhm.
That's interesting. I'm more
But there's
interested.
the
I'm more
specificity
interested
to it
in
is
the,
what makes it
in the
interesting.
Christian Coleman versus the world rivalry.
Man.
I was a fan of that before.
That's not a
before
rivalry. That's more like a perceived revenge tour or some crap.
I know, but I liked it. I was, listen, I'm gonna say this again. I know I wasn't the first person on the Michael Norman fan club, but I definitely was in the first car. And I want to see this work.
It has to work.
Like, I want to see a bunch of US dudes run under 9.8.
Like, I said this to somebody the other day. They didn't like my analogy, but I still like my analogy. Right or wrong, and I consider it wrong. LeBron James caught a lot of flack for the exit from Cleveland going to Miami. And because he did, it had to work. Because he would have been a joke if it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's true.
Fred Curley caught a lot of fire when he dipped to the 100. And everybody was like, oh, the boy's insane. What are you doing? It's never going to. And it worked. And now he looks like a genius, right? He got his payday, got the medals, 2 of them, right? Michael Norman is the reigning defending world champion in the 400. It better work.
Mm-hmm.
It has to work. And I think it will. I think it will. But it has to work.
Yeah.
Like, you can't pull that move and be the relay bandit. That can't happen.
Hey, but the good news is Clyde and I are finally going to get what we've been asking for, which is Michael Norman on Popoff. We're finally going to get that.
I mean, listen. We hope he's on Popoff. I'm confident they will find the way to get him on the track now, even though he shouldn't have to do that. But yes, number 1, that's where the boy belongs. Put him there.
I'm going to say this because you said it and the world needs to hear it. If we run Michael Norman first, Flamingo on third, and Ariane on anchor, like, literally it almost doesn't matter who runs second. But
right.
Hey, I'll take Noah.
No,
I'll take Fred.
Just plug somebody in there.
That's what I'm saying. I'll take Noah. I'll take Fred. I'll take any of them on second leg. Any of them.
You could put any of them there and give them the lame handoffs that the Jamaicans had when they broke the record, and it's blown to pieces.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, if you really look at how many straightaway guys we have, the truth of the matter is this: if you run Norman 1 and Flamingo 3, we could probably break the world record with a lot of different foursomes. As long as those 2 dudes are in those 2 spots.
Hey.
But hey.
We ain't get the jobs. So
Yeah.
Mine to throw out there, I went through all the events that you guys did not talk about. I wanted to try to find one, an odd one. It started already kind of, but they've been spotty. But who now is Katie Moon, Katie Najat, and Sandy Morris in the pole vault.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a really good
That's
one.
a good one.
So, and I mean, they haven't, I don't feel like they've been on at the same time, literally weeks apart, but I think now that they're training together too, I think that's gonna bud some fiery scenes, hopefully.
And
Yeah,
that's
that definitely has some Rayford Johnson, CK Yang thoughts to it, right? Like with the same coach is coaching the gold and silver medalists. It definitely has some of that to it.
Otto and Mo. I mean,
Yeah.
how many of us thought that was probably, I mean, in hindsight, was it the right decision? Does Otto win those medals if he's not there? If he goes somewhere else, does he beat Mo? Like, I mean, those are things that we'll never know now.
Yeah.
But while it was
definitely
happening,
never
it
know.
was like, man, I mean, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2.
Yeah.
Like,
I know this. I, for one, always thought that JD needed to go to a different camp if he ever wanted to beat them.
yeah,
Because the unfortunate part is the best part of what he did made the weakest part of what they did better,
yes,
which just made it impossible for him to ever beat them.
yeah.
Because they started
they'd
with
seen it in
him.
practice, and they
Oh,
knew
yeah.
that he was going to come back.
Because they started with him every day in practice. Like they just, the panic that start would cause on anybody else just didn't
Yes.
happen to them because they're
Happened to
like,
them.
we good.
Yeah, but and you know, we could do a whole segment on that. Just at that time in the world, HSI ruled the world. Like,
I mean, there's only been 2 real clubs in the history of this sport. Okay, that's not true. There's 3. They're because Athletics West, or I think that's what it was called. That was a real club. But Santa Monica and HSI are the only 2 power clubs that have really ever existed globally.
Yeah.
right. So I'm just saying, at that time in the world, it's like, where you gonna go?
Which leads me to wonder what we could have done in Austin. Anyway, Chu.
All right. Well, with all that excitement, we're gonna put the cherry on top by putting the 5 billion name man in the circle for would you rather.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it again.
No, I almost did, and then I was like, yeah, that's too much. Can't do it. Can't do it. Too much travel in one day to make that name happen again. So, sir, this one's very short because I think I came up with good questions, but I don't know. I think that all the time, and you guys stay there. Clyde, I got a
Ain't
text.
no drumsticks in this one, right?
I got a text on that one.
I
I don't know
bet
if
you
he
did.
told you. He told you. Anyhow, all right, sir, you ready?
I am.
All right, this one I did steal from the Steve Harvey. I think this was from yesterday, but would you rather get $500,000 cash up front, straight up, or have 3 years of paid vacations in full?
$500,000 in cash, and I'm confused by anybody else.
All right. Would you rather get into a cold bath / ice bath or do cryo?
I've never done cryo.
Oh,
And that's funny because off the show, we've got a question to ask you because some of the baseball guys want to do cryo.
all right.
So I wish I could give that answer. Cryo didn't, I'm old, remember? Cryo didn't exist.
Hey, I feel like that's an experiment that needs to happen. So put them in there and get back with us.
I ain't
Yeah.
afraid.
Record it.
And please record it. Yes.
I am not afraid.
We
Awesome.
need to see the before and after.
For all
Sounds
of
good.
you who haven't done cryo is awesome. It is very cold, but it is awesome. And there's a lot of health benefits besides the restoration. But anyways, mechanical pencil or traditional number 2 pencil?
I'll ask a petty question. What am I doing with this? Am I drawing something? Am I getting my spin on? What are we?
You're fighting. You're going.
So I need to know what am I doing
You're
with the pencil?
stabbing someone?
Am I doing math?
I'm just glad the other 3 tiles or the other 2 tiles gave you the same exact look that I just gave you.
Well, exactly, because it's a real question. If I'm doing math, I want a real pencil.
Okay, we'll go with that. Writing down meat marks.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. See, look, I thought that was a great question. And then
It
you
is,
did that.
it is a great question, but you just didn't. I like math, so I can tell you it would definitely be a real pencil, because if you're going to do real math, you're going to make some mistakes. So you needed a good eraser. Anybody who's ever really tried to erase with a mechanical pencil knows that's hot garbage.
Do you guys remember the erasable ink pens
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and how horrible they were, but so like
Yes.
great at the same time?
It really
Mhm.
didn't exist. It really didn't.
They didn't go away. Anyway,
They
sorry.
should have called it like mostly erasable ink.
All right. Would you rather eat chips and salsa or chips and guac?
Again, I want to meet the person who picks chips and salsa in this. What is wrong with your life?
My daughter. My daughter.
I mean, one of my baseball guys is allergic to avocados, so okay, he would pick chips and salsa, but like, yeah, chips and guac. Sorry, let me give him my answer.
Last one. Red vines or Sizzlers?
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Wow, not Sizzlers.
I was like, red vines or steak. Interesting.
Sizzlers or hometown buffet?
Red vines
Just
or
kidding.
Twizzlers. I'm going to say Twizzlers.
I
They're
have
a bit
no idea
more.
what red vines are.
They're. That's because you probably thought you were eating Twizzlers.
Yes.
Twizzlers are more cherry flavored. They're a little thicker. They're a little more durable. I like the Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Today, everybody has been doing this start, bench, cut.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before I need to add this is a pertinent question for everyone. Stale or fresh licorice?
Neither.
Fresh?
Stale.
What is wrong with her? Fresh?
Stale.
I'm gonna go again with fresh and let
I
you
know,
continue
I'm
to say
gonna say stale.
stale all you want. I
don't
don't
like stale
understand
anything.
you. I don't like stale anything.
They've got a nice little crisp to it. It's not mushy. It doesn't get stuck
Oh,
in your teeth.
no,
Because
no.
they're rotting.
Exactly. No.
They're degrading.
Exactly. She's eating carry-on. Jeez.
No. Anyway, okay. Go ahead. That I'm done. That's mine.
Oh.
Would you rather meet your childhood sports idol today or play your sports idol in his or her prime?
Ooh.
So, okay. Would I rather meet Jesse Owens or race Jesse Owens is what
Yes.
you're asking me. Am I in my prime?
Yes.
Yeah, like, would you rather meet Jesse Owens now that you're retired and moved on, or would you rather compete against Jesse Owens?
God, those are two
in his prime?
so greatly different but meaningful, because I would love to talk to him
Yes.
now and be like, talk to me about this experience.
Right.
And how do you go to an Olympics on a boat
Mm-hmm.
and train?
Mm-hmm.
But the competitor in me says, listen, I got 6 long jumps and I got 100. I'm getting in that ass at some point. I guess if those are my only 2 options, I gotta pick compete.
Competing against him. Okay.
Oh, that's a bad idea, but I still think that's the one I would choose.
And he's never going to talk to you again.
No, we're gonna talk during the meet. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
You're going to talk. There will be no responding.
Jesse's a talker. He's a good talker.
It is championship weekend officially. Which championship are you looking the most forward to, getting into, either from a storyline perspective or just, the marks?
I'm gonna say it's a push on both dual meets, the Big 12 dual meet and the SEC dual meet, sort of.
You're a dick.
All right.
Wow.
I'll go out on a limb right now and say this. Texas and Texas Tech will score 79% of the total points scored in the Big 12 meet.
Ow. He's probably not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong, but everybody's gonna call me a dick. But okay, do the math when the meet's over.
Oh my God.
No, I
280,
don't want to.
It's like 280, 276, 47. It's gonna be ridiculous. And then the SEC meet, right? Like, I mean, I know it's not going to be a dual meet, but I feel like Florida and Arkansas are going to be in everything
Mhm.
on both genders. I feel like Florida, like, it's not a disrespect to Tennessee because hell, they might win the meet. I don't know, but I'm just saying it feels like a Florida Arkansas dual meet, both genders.
Mhm.
With some, some nice commercials in there and some, hey, look at this, check that out. But really and truly, I know that Dwight Stones is going to tell us this is a dual meet. But I promise you, listen.
Are we still doing Dwight Stones? Is that
I don't know. I just know. I know Dan O'Brien's on the cast, but I don't know who else is. But I do know this. Y'all can check the math. 75%. I believe that Texas and Texas Tech will score 75% of, especially on the women's side, they will score 75% of the total points scored in the meet.
He's not wrong.
I know. Oh, I know. Ugh. Anyways.
It's the most top-heavy thing I've ever seen in a conference, ever.
So listen, I actually have to go downstairs. So can I jump to my heartbeat props?
Yes.
Yes.
It's championship weekend. Heartbeat props have to go out to my crew and honestly to the Mountain West. It's my second year in the conference, and I'm very happy to see the conference moving things in the right direction that benefits the whole of the competition and ultimately will lift the competition and make everything better. Case in point, last year at the Mountain West in the prelims of the 200, we had athletes running in lane 2 and we had open lanes, and it was just weird. I'd never really seen it before. We're not doing that this year. Everybody in the 200-meter prelims is either in lane 6, 5, or 4. Period. So whatever we got, we're going to see the best version of this week. And it's exciting.
Nobody in 3?
Nobody in 3 by nobody.
That's
in the
wild.
prelims. In the prelims. In the finals, you're gonna get the lane you get. But in the prelims, no one's in 3. It's awesome.
That is interesting. Not even sure that's legal, but it is interesting.
Oh, it's legal. Oh, it's legal.
I mean, that's what people who do illegal things always say.
Oh my God.
But no, in the finals, you're gonna have,
Oh, I know, I got it. Listen, I know why you do it. I think you should do it. I get it.
Yeah, so it's dope. And my incredibly young team is here. 85% freshmen. It's their first time in anything that's real. And I'm excited to see, what we got. I'm here for it. So hopefully we rise to the occasion. Our women are projected 5th coming into the day, and our men are projected 4th. And we have no intention of finishing in those places. So shouts out to the Mountain West and to San Jose State. Hopefully soon to be recognized as Speed City. We're going to find out.
Okay, I have 2 heartbeat props. One to Greg Foster, a man that was on his way out of the sport when I started, and immediately had an effect on me from the standpoint of, this is what a professional looks like. This is what someone who is dedicated to his craft, this is how he carries himself, this is how he purports himself, this is what he projects out there. My early years, 93, 94, 95 on the circuit, it was clear that he was a master at his craft. And, we didn't have that many conversations, but he had a tremendous impact on me. Secondly, True Goy the Dove, Plug 2, sorry, from De La Soul. I still remember picking up 3 Feet High and Rising I was at a track meet in Florida, and I picked this album up, and I'm listening to it in my Walkman, and I'm just like, what in God's name is this? And De La still is and always will be one of my favorite groups in hip hop. And to find out that he's been dealing with he was dealing with this heart ailment for a long time, heart failure. He had congenitive heart failure. But yeah, thank you for the memories. Thank you for shaping my life from a musical standpoint. Shout out to De La. And it's interesting because they just have now gotten to a point where they are now in control of their streaming, being able to put their music out. For decades, you could not access their music on Apple, and it just changed in the last couple months. So, some things, you kind of look at, some things happen for a reason. But yeah, those are my 2 heartbeat props.
Well said, sir.
Listen, man, I didn't come on this show to be crying, so I'm gonna need you to stop. I talked earlier about the fact that my first national meet was in Provo, Utah in the 88-89 season. I met Greg Foster and Gail Devers and Bobby Kersey, having snuck on the track illegally to work out my own freshman jitters. They were on the track, so it was literally me and them 3 for practice. And Greg Foster was the first person that wasn't my coach to ever tell me that I was going to be really good.
Wow.
I'm not sure how he assessed that, but he did. Yeah. My heartbeat props actually, they go out to all of the African-American athletes who continue, because it's Black History Month. I wanted to speak to their continuing fight for their Blackness to not be relevant. I'm super duper impressed with young athletes who are pushing the fight further down the track than we did, Governor, and then we did than the generation before us, to have it not matter that you're a Black decathlete or a Black athlete. It warms the cockles of my heart that people just refer to Kyle Garland as a great decathlete, right? That people refer to Ashton Eaton as a great decathlete. Because in my era, I was the next in a long line of great Black decathletes who also are, I don't know, Olympic gold medalists like Dan O'Brien and Daley Thompson and Rayford Johnson and Milt. What's wrong with me? Milt Campbell, right? But our Blackness was what unfortunately seemed to matter more than our greatness as athletes. And my heartbeat prop absolutely goes out to those who continue to endeavor just to be seen as a great or athlete and not a black one. You know, it's a tough landscape to be an athlete of color. It's a tough landscape to be in athletics and be a person of color. You know, we're in a world where the world wants us to accept the fact that it's okay that Eric Bieniemy has now been on Super Bowl winning staff twice, been in the Super Bowl 3 times, and won 5 straight AFC championships, or been in 5 straight AFC championships. But it's okay that he's been passed over for job after job because he needs to take a lateral move and show that he has ability to play call. It's the most ridiculous nonsense ever told in the NFL. But he had to swallow that and leave a job. Listen, Eric Bieniemy wanted to leave the Chiefs for another coordinator job about as much as I want to like be in charge of the clan.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants to be a head coach, and it was never going to happen as long as he's the offensive coordinator and Andy Reid is calling plays. And so like that's, you know, we always have to deal with that stuff, right? And we get one shot, you know, and they give the brown person the head coaching job. If it doesn't go great, like you might never ever see another one. And you get to be an assistant or you get to be a coordinator, those kind of things. But so my, you know, look, I'm here for those who are championing that cause on a daily basis still, because I can no longer. I'm just a coach, right? I'm just an agent, and I fight those fights in a whole different way, in a whole different sport. But to all the young brown athletes out there who just want to be great and don't really want to be great for their skin color, my heartbeat props go out to all of them.
Wrapping up heartbeat props to all the bus drivers and people who transport us during all of our season, but specifically championship season, getting us here safe. For our team specifically, we've had some trials and tribulations this season, so I just appreciate getting here with no literal obstacles to get in our way. So thank you all, because it's tireless and thankless, and hopefully the team that gets on your bus next treats you better than the last. So with
that's a great one, Chu, because you know they go to all these meets and they don't ever get to watch the meet because they have to sleep.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Well done.
I mean, we spoil, I don't want to say spoil, but we definitely try to make sure they're taken care of by many means. So,
well, from a non-Power 5 perspective, I'd like to give heartbeat props to cheaper bus prices. We are getting crucified.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that COVID drove through the ceiling,
Yes,
it is transportation prices and ground transportation in particular.
yes.
I smell some 12 passenger buses, vans coming our way.
Oh, factual.
It's
factual. Absolutely. They're already written down in my notes. So
okay.
Yeah, but the problem is it's like those things are $200 a day.
not when they're your fleet services.
Exactly.
I mean, not giving away secrets, but
I will say this, the one thing that was the greatest about working at the University of Oklahoma is it had an entire fleet of cars.
Right.
So if you went on a recruiting trip, you just had to go down there and get a car.
Wow.
Yeah, that was awesome.
all right. Well, with that said, heidi ho to championship, or rounding out championship weekend. for last chance weekends for all of you. Have fun, do well. But other than that, see everyone in a week. Bye,
Mm.
everyone.